Hi everyone, this is Tracy. I am your speech instructor for Speech 131 for the last 4 weeks of the semester. You're in section 0 or OA 230, and this course is 4 weeks long and it is going to move incredibly fast. So what this video is basically just an introduction to how this course is going to run for the next 4 weeks and kind of show you what you need to get acquainted with so that you can be the most successful in this course. So obviously everything you're going to need for this course is going to be on Eagle. This is a learning management system that we're going to use. This is how you're going to move through your online course. When you log on to Eagle, obviously this is your homepage, and you'll see that your homepage is set up in modules. These are the modules, and you see that they are all titled. So you have the Start Here module, which is where this video is posted. Helpful Tools module, this is about personal wellness, personal and just wellness stuff. Next module is Helpful Tools Academics. Next is MindTap Resources and Tech Support. Keith Public Speaking 3rd edition and MindTap, this is your textbook. This is support for the textbook. And then the remaining 4 or 5 modules is the rest of the semester, so each week in the semester, including final exams week. I set it up that way. I find it the easiest way to keep myself organized. I find it the easiest way that students stay organized, so hopefully you find that is keeping you organized as well. So we're going to go ahead and start in the Start Here module. And hopefully you have already done this, but if you haven't, the first thing you want to do is click on this link right here that says Welcome to Speech 131 Online. And it is going to open up, and it's basically a welcome letter to this class reminding you just some small details, and then reminding you also that it's going to move really, really fast. So I'm not going to read it detail for detail, word for word, but I am going to go over a few things for you. All right, so welcome to Speech 131. This is the Basic Fundamentals course. So in this course, you are going to learn basic public speaking skills and also some basic fundamentals of communication as it exists as a discipline. So to be clear, this class is asynchronous. It is 100% online, and there is no set time for you to log onto this class or into any Zoom lectures. The lectures have already been pre-recorded for you. So basically this class kind of rolls off like dominoes, and you just have to kind of stay on top of the due dates. All right, so I have posted lectures for you. I give you how-to videos, example videos, and recordings, and that is going to be key to your success in here, is watching those recordings and reading the content in the class. So this class officially started, hopefully you're watching this video on April 10th. So today, April 10th, 2021, you are expected to log into the classroom via Eagle that day and get acclimated with the course. So if you are unfamiliar with Eagle, which I don't know, maybe this could be your very first course during this pandemic, or maybe your very first online course, it is really important that you get acquainted with the learning management system, which is Canvas, and Rock Valley calls it Eagle. So Canvas and Eagle are the same thing, so don't let that confuse you. You're going to have 3 what I call big speeches in this class, and then 1 small one, so you have a total of 4 speeches in this class, and all of those speeches are going to be recorded using YouTube. So you're going to need to use a YouTube account, and YouTube requires, I believe, that you have a Gmail account, and since you are an RVC student, that shouldn't be a problem since Rock Valley uses Gmail. All right, so what I mean when you're recording using YouTube, you can record using your computer as long as you upload it to YouTube, because I accept URLs only for the presentations. I can't accept any sort of files from your personal computer, because then it takes far too long for me to download them. All right, so you're going to mark the video as unlisted. You'll see that option once you start downloading, and I give you those directions here too. So everything is linked and hopefully really easy for you, but you just have to go through and read it. But you're going to mark the video unlisted. Don't mark the video as private. If you mark the video as private, then I can't view it. But if you mark the video as unlisted, the only people who are going to be able to view that video are going to be the people who have the link, so myself and you. So if you would like to, once the semester is over, please feel free to delete your videos. I'm not going to share the videos. If you want to share the videos, you go right ahead and do that. But the reason that we mark it unlisted is to eliminate any privacy issues, so you don't have anything to worry about. So in addition to using YouTube, you may need to use Zoom for your informative and persuasive speeches. This depends on your abilities to project the visual aid component of your assignment. You will find more about this visual aid component and recording your visual aids down below in number 6. So we're going to start number 1 here. So number 6 is below. So I'm going to try not to be repetitive. All right, so we're using YouTube. Next thing you want to keep in mind for when we are recording speeches, 1, you want to remember professional dress. And this goes for your informative and your persuasive speeches, because when we get into informative and persuasive speeches, we're starting to take a little bit of a closer look at how our credibility can be impacted. And one of those things is professional dress. So you can get the dress code right here. Don't make a big deal out of it. It's not something that's meant to drive you nuts or make your life miserable. It's just to teach you about credibility, teach you about professionalism. All right, if able-bodied, you need to be standing when you're recording your presentations. This allows for a more realistic experience for public speaking. If you're sitting, it's not very realistic to the experience. So you want to make sure that you are standing if able-bodied. Number 3, this is stated in the assignment directions, but please remember you're only allowed to use note cards when presenting. No speaking from outline notes and no speaking from a computer screen. If you do that, it's incredibly obvious. You may think it is not, but it is, and you will lose nonverbal and eye contact points. So just make sure that you are following directions and that you're only using those note cards. Number 4, this was a problem right when the pandemic started. With everything being thrown online, but it hasn't been too much of a problem so far the last semester. No editing your speeches. Okay, so this means no, I shouldn't see any editing tricks. I shouldn't see any fading. I shouldn't see any obvious breaks. It should just be one clear-cut shot for however long your speech is. If you edit it, if I see anything that's edited, I'm going to ask you to re-record it. I'm not going to grade it. So editing videos is not realistic to the public speaking experience. This isn't a media presentation course. This is a public speaking course taken in a pandemic. If it was a media presentation course, I maybe would say, yeah, let's work on, the editing and we'll have a lecture and a lesson about it, but we're not doing any sort of editing in here. So editing is not realistic to the experience. If you edit your videos, I'm going to ask you to re-record it. Number 5, since we're taking this class during a pandemic, you do not have to have an audience. So if you are somebody who suffers from anxiety, which I think all of us on some level have a little bit of anxiety, I know that I do. I've been public speaking and teaching this class for a very long time, and I still get nervous on the first day. So nerves are normal, but the nice thing about taking this class during COVID times is you don't have to have an audience. So now is your time to shine and not worry about it. But I know from teaching this during COVID times, there are still people who get incredibly nervous just when the camera hits on to record. But take advantage of this and do your best, because having an audience for some people is a really awesome perk to COVID right now. If there's any silver lining to this pandemic, it might be that. So let's see. If you do not have a camera that is positioned well enough to see and hear while you are standing, ask a family member or friend to record for you, if that makes you feel comfortable. But you want to make sure that that I can see you. Okay, informative and persuasive speeches are required to have a visual aid. So this is that number 6 that I was talking about. It is important that you are able to use your visual aid during your speech. So usually it's PowerPoint. This means you have to find a way to present while you're speaking. Keep in mind that visual aids are typically PowerPoints or tangible objects. When PowerPoints are used or any presentation software, you must be able to project that to me. So here are 3 different ways that you can do that. And I'm not going to go over this. You're going to have to read it on your own. Just because that would take a really long time, and maybe you already know how to do it, but I want you to see what your options are. So the first one is you can hook up your laptop to the TV, and then you can record yourself in front of the TV. The only problem that students seem to be having with that is a lighting issue. Sometimes the light in the room will black out the TV or white out the TV, and it's really difficult to see your visual aid. So you're going to have to test, but there are directions for doing that. You can use Zoom, and the way that you Zoom that, or the way that you do that, is you want to follow these 9 directions here, and you're kind of doing a webcam recording of yourself while the PowerPoint is on the computer screen. You can do this. Here are more directions that have to do with number 2, or something that's really awesome that Rock Valley Media Department put together for us is this right here, which is talking about using YouTube with screencast and a webcam, and it's incredibly simple. And that's what I am doing right now, except my webcam is not on. This is just a screencast, and screencast is free. You just download it. YouTube is obviously free, so everything is free for you, but it's just getting all of it to work together. And while it sounds overwhelming, honestly, screencast makes it incredibly simple, and I love it. So I would probably go with this one right here. But those are your options for you when you get to informative and persuasive speaking and you need to project that visual aid. I would choose this sucker right here, but there are several options there for you. All right. So for this course, you're going to need a textbook. You just need the ebook, which is MindTap. You do not need to spend money on the print version because obviously everything is there for you. It is called Public Speaking Choices and Responsibility, 3rd edition. And here are the links for that. Here's the link to the textbook, which you will also find a module link for you. And you want to make sure that you've either purchased it the access code through the bookstore or that you've purchased the access code through Cengage. Okay, and then you're going to want to follow those steps that are given to you in the MindTap Resources Tech module to log on and get started, because you are going to have chapter readings and you are going to have quizzes. So you definitely want to make sure that you get yourself logged in. Required materials for this course is you want to have 1 package of 5x8 note cards. Smaller is fine, but the bigger the better, because again, you're only allowed to use 2. So why short yourself when you're allowed to use those big ones? Okay. Late work. There's no late work on quizzes. Those you need to keep up with, but I will accept late work on small writing assignments, outlines, discussions, and speeches, but you only have a week from the extension date. Once it passes that week, I'm going to mark it 0. And it's also a 20% off the final score. Consider this welcome letter an extension of the syllabus, which you can also find right here. I'm going to click on the syllabus and we're going to briefly go over it, but really this welcome letter is like the key components of the syllabus, but I still want to let you know where that stuff is. So I clicked on the syllabus and it did not pull up. Sorry. And we're going to open it from here. And honestly, I want you to go through and read this on your own, again, because that welcome letter is really the Cliff Notes version of the syllabus. But it's still good to take a look at. Office hours. I don't really have office hours. If you want to meet on Zoom, let's meet on Zoom. You just got to give me advance, like 24-hour notice if you need to have a Zoom meeting so that I can wrangle my kids and put them in front of iPads at the perfect time for when me and you need to have a conversation, because I have pandemic children and they are home with me. All right. Let's see. Here are the student learning outcomes and how they align with this course. You guys, again, can go over this on your own. This is the outline of the course. We're going to go over communication as a discipline. We're going to go over speech organization, which is huge. We're going to go over verbal and visual support. Delivery is big, but these are some key components that you're going to be learning in the course. That's the textbook you need. You're going to have 4 individual speeches. Okay, there's 3 here because there's 3 big ones that are worth 100 points. And out of those 3, you're going to have an informative and persuasive speech. And it is a state IAI requirement that students have to give your informative and persuasive speech. If you choose not to give your informative and persuasive speech, you choose to not pass the class. Okay. All right, that talks about the late policy, which I went over in the welcome letter. Computer skills, you have to have some basic computer skills because you are taking an online course. You need to know how to work YouTube. You need to know how to upload and download and attach things to email. Not so much email, but you need to know how to attach the assignment in Canvas, which is just like attaching something to an email. This is a late policy, again, which I already went over. If you need to withdraw from the course, it's student withdrawal, so it's completely up to you. It's your responsibility. Email policy, it just says no emailing me assignments over Eagle unless you want me to proofread something. Email is the easiest way to get in touch with me. You're most likely to get a response in less than 24 hours. But do give me time. You know, sometimes on the weekends, I'm not constantly checking my email. I have a family, so your procrastination is not my emergency. So just stay on top of the homework that's due in here and use professionalism in email. If you have a problem with the grade that you received, that's okay. Just wait 48 hours and then talk to me and read the constructive criticism, and then I'm happy to have a conversation with you. Tutoring, if you need to utilize those services, here is the number to give them a call and check their hours. College policy and academic dishonesty. This is about plagiarism. If you get caught plagiarizing, that's not good. So you want to make sure that you are citing your sources when necessary, and we go over that in week 1 and week 2. Okay? All right, you can read the rest of this on your own. In a nutshell, what this section labeled My Thoughts talks about is that I understand very, very much that public speaking is an anxiety-producing course. It is a phobia. It is challenging to your nervous system, to say the least. So I get it. So, because when I took this course, when I was 17 at Illinois State University, I was terrified. I came from a theater background. And I thought, I got this. This will be fine. I've been on stage 100 times before. What is different? It's different. It's very different. So I understand that this can produce a lot of anxiety. I understand the physical symptoms. I understand, you know, what you're experiencing internally and how it comes out externally to your audience. So I understand completely what you're going through, and I will try to make this as painless as possible, but you do have to do some work on your part. You have to practice. You have to start the assignments on time. You can't wait till the last minute. This class will challenge you, but it'll be, I think, a challenge that is productive. I think a challenge that is beneficial. But again, it has to, a little effort on your part has to make the experience smooth as well. But I promise to help you along the way. And determining the final grades, you can see these are the assignments that are broke down. Some are TBA. Okay, and here is the grading scale. All right, so this is the first video that went over how Eagle works and the syllabus and the welcome letter. Okay, and the next video is going to be about how the modules are set up.